Hey everybody, before we get to this video, give me just a quick second to talk to you about Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with over 17,000 classes in a huge range of different topics, from business, entrepreneurship, to film or video, creative writing, directing, practical skills like making things with your hands, and many more. With over 17,000 classes, you could go on and on and on and on and on and learn all there is to know in all of humanity. It's only $10 a month, which is a fantastic deal considering the amount of accessible learning on the table. In particular, I found some of the Adobe After Effects classes to help me improve my video editing skills to be quite interesting. I sat through a couple of them and I thought they were well taught and visually very easy to follow along. Since Skillshare is sponsoring this video, the first 500 people to sign up using my special link in the description will get 2 months free trial, my treat to you, Skillshare.com. Use that link. Thank you for your time. Now enjoy this video.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a very cool day in the canyons, or possibly a very sad day, because this is a 240SX, and if you've been listening to the Smoking Tire for a while on the podcast, I was basically shopping for a 240SX for 6 months before I bought my E46 M3. So today I'm going to learn if I made the right decision or the wrong decision, or if they're both good decisions and I just need to make more money. It's kind of what we're going to figure out. So this is Tomas. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for driving up from Anaheim to bring this, because your car is beautiful, and it's, when you pulled up, it's got a really cool metal flake, and then you told me it's a wrap. And my wrap experience is very limited, but it's a really nice looking wrap. The stance is nice. You're doing all the things to make me upset about what I bought. So, so thank you for that. So tell us what this is and how long you've had it.
It's a 1997 Nissan 240SX Kooky. I got it when I was 13. I'm 20 now, so about 7 years.
You got it when you're 13?
Yeah, before I drove. My dad wanted me to learn how to work on cars before I started driving, so
okay, props to him. He's here also today. Yeah. That's really cool.
It's KA instead of the usual SR20 swap, but it has a S15 turbo, E85, 850cc power enterprise injectors. The whole, if you open the hood, the whole idea of the turbo kit was to make it look kind of stock, like a sleeper.
It's really clean. Yeah, it's really clean. So
from the engine, you wouldn't think it's too modified, but from the outside, it kind of looks more loud than the engine. It has a 50mm over fenders in the rear, and then in the front, it's just bolt-on flares that the body shop molded into the front fenders, so it looks almost stock. Has SSR D5R wheels, Tane suspension, Megan rear upper control arms and rear toe arms, and Z32 front brakes. That's pretty much.
So it's pretty. It feels like it's all like simple modifications. Meaning, like, you don't have a $10,000 coilover system, but it's simple, but it's smart. It's like, because you were having geometry changes under compression, so you do those toe arms and the upper rear control arms, and it fixes that, right? Front brakes, obviously, like, brakes are important, people, even though 16-year-old Zach would tell you don't need brakes. 35-year-old Zach says you need brakes. I'm really stoked about this. Car looks great, sits right, and it's a KA24. People have talked about them as if they explode all the time, but then I've talked to some others. If you build them correctly, they last, and you had 7 years to do it. So
it's probably only been turbo for the past year and a half, 2 years though. Okay. The first turbo setup I had, actually, speaking of KAs blowing up, it kind of blew up the ring lands on the stock pistons. Okay. That was because I was still in high school. It was like a $300 turbo kit, the whole setup. It wasn't tuned, it was an FMU. It was an eBay turbo.
You don't say that a $300 turbo kit blew up and didn't have a tune on it. No. Get out of here.
So I drove it probably my whole senior year of high school. It was running rich and everything. You could smell it, but it lost compression one day and it wouldn't run anymore. So then that's when we took it apart and put forged pistons in it, Y-scope pistons. And
oh, so okay, so this is like a built KA now.
Built as far as the pistons are forged, new bearings, ARP head studs. That's pretty much it. But
all right, so built to last.
Yeah.
Duralast. I'm gonna get sued for using the copywritten term. All right, well let's take off now and we can keep talking about this. Oh man, this is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna like this a lot. Okay, right away your throttle is sensitive, not too sensitive, but there's like no slack to it, which is really nice. Brake pedal has a little bit, actually feels a lot like my car, which isn't really a compliment. It's got a little bit of softness at the top and then it grabs, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. My car does the same thing. And you know, I've got pads fluid and stainless lined, and still it's just something that, you know, the brake boosters do.
Yeah, because using the stock KA brake master
Stock
cylinder,
booster, stock master cylinder,
instead of the Z32, which most people do.
Now you have these two buttons down here in the center console, and you started explaining to me, and I started laughing. So before we were rolling cameras, so what are these two little buttons here that I will give people a shot of?
It's exhaust cutout. Should I?
Yeah, sure, try it. We won't have it on the whole time because we won't be able to hear. All right, it's a little more drone, and then a lot more drone when you let off. Oh, okay, there's a lot more noise now. Yeah, all right, now I hear it. Let's see, can you set it back to exhaust going out the back? This is hilarious. I feel like you are simultaneously like a mature man, because you started building this when you were 13.
Yeah.
So you probably made your mistakes at 16,
yeah.
Whereas most people make their mistakes when they're like 22, and then they figure it out when they're 28. So you're 28 but 20. Yeah. If that math made sense to anybody, I hope it did. Steering feel is, there's not a lot of slop at all. I remember the first 240 I drove was at Drift 101, the drift school, and everyone should go to that. It's the best thing in the world. And I came away really impressed with how intuitive the car was to drive. It felt really familiar. It felt like a big Miata. And this feels the same way. Like the steering isn't super heavy. You know, I would like a little more weight if I was gonna nitpick, but it's very direct. And the car is quick, but it's not, I don't know, it's not soil your pants quick. It's definitely enough for someone who's 20 years old. Good amount of good amount of thrust, and starts building. When is boost build in this car? Like, I mean,
25.
Wow, that's really all right. So we're up at $4,000. I'm gonna slow down a little bit, and we'll do a little pull from like third at $3,000.
First gear, wheel spins a lot. Second gear is some wheel spin, but third gear helps.
All right, here we go. So from 3, full throttle, and now boosting more. Yeah, it's really progressive. There's no spike, and there's no you know, it doesn't feel like you go up a cliff at any point, and it doesn't feel like you hit a wall. So it's a nice power. And you said you haven't dyno tuned it. How did you tune this car?
It's a ROM tune from this guy in Florida, RS Enthalpy Martin. He tunes like different. He's pretty known in the 240SX community.
All right, so he just sends you a tune over the internet.
It's a chip.
Okay. Wow. Seems like you paid a lot of attention to your supporting structure here. Like you've got, I don't know, AFR gauge. You had what was your O2 heater was on. Like, I mean, I guess you learned when you were younger when the car broke and you don't want it to break again. I mean, people can probably hear we are getting tire rub over some of these bumps. The car's pretty low. It's not quite I can't get into my driveway low, but it's close. I'm gonna turn around. These cars are so easy to drive. They just, like, the weight balance is perfect. I feel like the wheelbase is perfect. It's like 99 inches. I mean, that's why they're such good drift platforms. They're really good race platforms. A friend of mine has a 240 with stock KA naturally aspirated. It's track car, so it's like caged and stripped, and he's running sub 2 minutes at Buttonwillow. And we have, a friend of mine has a 500 horsepower 135i that is trying to crack 2 minutes. You know, so this 240 has a third the power, and he's running a quicker time. They're just natural driver's cars. You feel right at home. The visibility is insane. It almost feels like a mid-engine car. The hood just slopes away so quick. I mean, I feel like I can see my own feet. Brake pedal is good. Got a little vibration in the shifter. Have you done like transmission bushings and engine? What am I trying to say?
I think it has Nismo transmission mounts.
Okay.
That's about it. It has a B&M short shifter.
Do you have sway bars at all?
No.
Okay. It's interesting. Like I can feel all the bumps we're going over. I mean, the car feels incredibly solid. There's not a squeak in here, which is a testament to 90s Japanese build quality. The suspension stiffness, I think, is transmitting some of that. And then when we go into the corner, like right at the end of adhesion, there's like a little more lean in the front than I was expecting, and like a little gentle understeer. So it's not turning in super hard. It actually feels like there's a little more grip at the back than the front. But you know, it's a work in progress. Like, and I like that you've done a lot of things to this car to help it keep working. You know, instead of, I don't know, we try to impress upon people, like, build the car evenly. You know, some suspension, some brakes, some reliability, and then go around the circle again. If you put all your money into one area, you know, unless you have the bankroll to keep going, you end up with a car that's out of balance, really. See, it runs out of steam a little bit at like 55. So what have you done with this car as far as, are you going to track it, drift it? Is it just like, I mean, it's a great education for working on cars. Like, what's your next step?
Realistically, probably wouldn't bring it to a track, but I want to take it to Urbandale drag strip at least to see its 8th mile times. If I were to get something for a track, I'd probably get S13.
Why would you go S13?
I already know the platform, like the S chassis platform.
Yep.
And I've always wanted a hatch, so it just works out.
I've always loved the coupes, the S13 coupes a lot. I like that wedge look, but it's so funny that in my brain, the S14 looks like a much bigger car than the 13, but it's not. It's just something about the way they designed it. These are they're so easy to drive. They feel so good. You know, I mean, your car, like, I can understand it's a little low for a track because we're getting a little bit of tire rub. Not a ton, but it's happening. People can hear it. But everything just feels at home at doing this stuff. That's what it is. It doesn't feel like you're making it do something it doesn't want to do. I think like a little more aggressive alignment and maybe from some front bar to help the front bite. Because like right now it feels like there's the front like wandering just a little bit. Yeah, a little understeer. Not a lot. I mean, understeer is safer than oversteer. But so are you trying to go into like fabrication, or is this, why did your dad want you to learn how to work on cars?
My dad's always been into cars, but he just didn't want me to like know just how to drive a car. He wanted me to know how to work on a car.
Smart man.
Yeah, so I can maintain it at least.
Very good. Yeah, and then you can do the work yourself. You understand how it works. Exactly. Really good points. Which boost setting have we been in, by the way? Okay, good. I just wanted to check. I drove a car a few weeks ago, or if you're just watching this video now, it could be 5 years ago, and we were in Sport, not Sport Plus, and you know, the mapping was definitely different, and the car was still really quick, but I just wanted to check. I will always have a sweet spot for these cars, and I will own one day. Like, I know I didn't buy one because
yeah, the idle
it automatically turns off. It's eco mode.
When you're doing like U-turns and stuff, and you're like feathering the gas, idle sometimes drops too low.
Okay. And now it's fine now, it's like 12. Like, I knew that if I bought one of these, I didn't have the know-how on Japanese cars and turbo systems to maintain it if something went wrong. And I knew that the stock power plant was gonna be too slow for what I wanted to do. So it was just, at the end of it, I was like, I can't put myself in a position where my daily driver, which is what my BMW is, has a complicated system that I have to learn how to repair all the time. But as a second car, or as a drift car, or even as like, I don't know, I really like them. I've liked them for a long time. I think they look really good, even though it's like a simple design, but they just have the right proportions, cool shape, and you know, as we all know by the drift tax, like the chassis dynamics are just great. You know, you can put any engine you want in these things and they'll be happy. I'm really stoked for you, dude. I think your dad's doing a great job of, I mean, what a cool thing. Like, he just rolls a car in your garage when you're 13. He's like, here's your classroom. You know, we're going to build this thing together, learn to work on it, and now you understand it, and you're only 20. And you know.
Yeah, so most of the, like, I'd say 90% of the modifications were just done in our garage, just between the two of us. So.
That is really cool. That's really cool. And that's a great experience to have. I think felt really good. I mean, power band felt nice and broad. You know, brake pedal feel was pretty good with it, except for that little softness up top. But other than that, they were grabbing nice. Yeah, well, you know, it's not a track car, so a little bit of tire rub, that's fine. I don't know, felt great in the corners, felt pretty even with just that little bit of understeer. I like these so much. Like, I'm not quite at the point where I want to sell my car to go buy one.
Yeah.
But it was a really hard decision. And so when you said, hey man, you want to drive my car? It was like 240SX, like you already had me at 240SX. And then it's KAT, interesting. The engine bay is really clean. Looks like you guys have put the work into the right places. So hopefully it works for you for a really long time. And yeah, man, thank you. Just thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Keep up with everything on the Smoking Tire podcast. We're doing 2 a week. We film them live and put them on YouTube live. You can ask questions in Super Chat, or they go up afterwards on iTunes, wherever you get podcasts, Android, etc. It's a good way to follow us. Follow me on Twitter at Zach Clapman, or on Instagram at fake Zach Clapman, because someone is camping on my name. So, thank you. Have a great day.